single farmer in Zimbabwe has a commitment. And it's time that we stand up and prove our worth in producing food for this country. We've had enough chances, we need to get on with it. I don't think any of us as farmers are proud that we have to import food into this country from South Africa or anywhere else. So I support government that we've got to get agriculture back to what it was, and we can be proud of it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much to our panel. And let me just quickly introduce my colleagues. On my left is retired Major General Chanakira, who is a permanent secretary in VP Chiwenga's office, and obviously our own JB, permanent secretary Basera from Lands and Agriculture. Right, now we're going to be taking questions. Obviously the questions will be channeled towards the two ministers primarily, but if you want Mr. Swanepoel to come in, he will be happy to come in issues that pertain directly to that issue, to his remit. Okay, name, the media house, and then your question. Okay.
My name is Blessed Mtanga from Heart and Soul TV and Radio. Minister, what would you say to people who would see this as a government backtracking on the land reform program? And what took you this long to realize that such, as you speak, the resurgence of illegal farm occupations was bad? Because for a long time this has been happening and you've been silent.
Okay, thank you, Blessed. Can we have 3 more questions? If none, this is 3 in 1. Okay, Polisani?
Thank you. My name is Polisani. My question related to the CFU. How many of your members are willing to reapply for land in this current offer on the table? Probably could I come in and assist to say how many of the former farmers who are willing to reapply for land?
Okay, thank you, Polisani. I think the CFU membership have taken note of the question. Question number 3. Lady, can we have a lady, please? If none, let's have anyone who hasn't asked the question yet. If none, the panel will tackle those questions and we should be good to go.
Thank you.
Last take. Going 3, 2. Right, there's somebody there in the back.
Afternoon, just wanted to clarify with the Minister of Finance. Is the government found or secured the transaction advisors for the land for the land deal, the 3.5 billion? Yes.
Thank you, Godfrey. And going again. 3, 2, 1, and gone. So, panel, please. Starting with Dr. Masuka for the first question from Blessed. Right tracking.
Thank you. It's unfortunate that there is a perception that the government is actually backtracking, whereas it's the opposite. Government is clarifying the position following the signing of the global compensation deed. And we issued SI 41 and SI 62. So SI 41 is to do with maximum farm sizes per region. So the perception perhaps among some of our citizens might have been, if someone had 600 hectares in an area designated for 250, it automatically meant that the 350 hectares were available, leading to the perception that land was available in that regard. Then of course, July 29 to now is a relatively short time, so government actually has acted with speed, with alacrity, to ensure that there is clarity on the land. It's not a reversal, it is a clarification. It is very clear from the statement that we've made that the land remains. We are going to offer compensation for improvements. With respect to DIPAs, those are a special case. We're going to honor our bilateral investment agreements. With respect to indigenous farmers, we've taken a deliberate policy position that these farms, in terms of SI 62, be retained to the indigenous owners. So there is no confusion, at least in my mind, that Zimbabwe is moving forward. By clarifying these land issues, it means that we can focus on what we must focus on, which is increasing production, productivity, and ensuring that for once farming and farmers get to do what they know best so that our country can become food secure again. So I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Masuka. It's clarification, it's not a reversal. So we move on to the CFU. Mr. Swanapu, yourself or any member of your team?
Yeah, I'll ask any of my members if they want to come in as well. But I just want to say this is not to do with commercial or CFU or that. We're talking agriculture in general here when we talk that. And it's been made quite clear that we've had some failures in the past in agriculture in the last few years. And anybody that qualifies, as far as I'm concerned, and from what the messages I've been getting from my various ministers, is anybody across the board that qualifies for farming. We need to get agriculture going. So therefore, that is what we're aiming for. So it's not for a particular group of people as such, it's across the board for anybody that can farm properly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Swanapo. Any member from Mr. Swanapo's team who wants to add? What? Well, they enjoying themselves to your very good, short and precise speech. Last question was from Mr. Godfrey Malaranyika, and it was going to finance. Honorable Minister, Professor.
Thank you very much, Godfrey, for the question. Voice protection. The question is around whether we found a transaction advisor for the raising of the $3.5 billion in terms of the global compensation agreement. We are working on that. That's one of the things we have to do. We'll be issuing an expression of interest statement locally, in the local media, as well as international media, for any potential advisors out there to express their interest, and then we'll move to the shortlisting stage, then eventually appoint an advisor to help us raise this funding from both the domestic market and the international market. So we're working on it, but certainly we will be appointing a financial advisor for this transaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ministers and Mr. Swanapu, for addressing these questions. Unless there's a burning question, a really burning question which is related to the discussion at hand, we will close this. Any last bite at the cherry? Oh, okay. Honorable Minister, indulge us, please. Yes. Honorable Ministers, yes.
My name is J.K. Sai. I just wanted to ask the Minister of Finance, is there no lingering fears of externalization of any currency, foreign currency particularly, once the payments have been made to these farmers, who are obviously most of them resident outside the country?
Okay, your question has been noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, there's more.
There's more. Yeah, there's more. Blessed.
Yes. Blessed Mhlanga, again from Heart and Soul TV. There's a statement that was released by other white farmers who are outside in South Africa and said that this global political agreement was forced on them. It was actually bullying, so to speak. So I wanted clarity, if you have seen that statement, and clarity on that issue.
You see, you love politics so much. It's not a global political agreement. That's why you're asking political questions. It's a global compensation day. But thank you still. The last one? Okay, we are done. The panel is going to address the two questions.
Thank you very much. Let me, I didn't quite catch your name. Say it again. Jigizana. Thank you. You asked a question about whether farmers will externalize funds and so forth. Look, some of them are already living outside, and we're happy to pay them in hard currency in the first place. It's up to them what they do with their resources that they're entitled to, and they'll be giving us accounts in Zimbabwe, some of them outside Zimbabwe. That's okay. That's what we want to do. We just want to honor commitment that will be made under the global compensation agreement. But also aware that a lot of these farmers want to invest in the sector, but you know there are other related sectors as well. In Zimbabwe, we are aware of that, and that's a positive thing. But those who do not wish to do so, we cannot force them. They are right to choose which way they want to go. It's their choice. So we're not too concerned about that at all. We know that the money will find its way here until investment goes. We offer very good returns here. I've been all over Africa. Zimbabwe is one of the best returns you can ever have as an investor, almost in any sector, let alone agricultural sector. So whether it's Africa or global, we offer very good.
Just a quick follow-up question to that. You know, there's been mention of obviously the farmers, the government, but hardly any mention of farm workers in all of these agreements.
It's a new question, but
it's a new question. Well, I think I'll pass that on. I'll pass it to Nick Sonneton, and also the question on those who feel they were bullied and so forth. But I can answer that. Let me spread it.
Please, Honorable Minister. Okay, Mr. Swarapu, please proceed.
Yeah, the question that was asked just now, that some white farmers are saying that we were forced into it. Let me put it to you this way. It's taken us 20 years before we've come to this agreement. We have been in negotiations for the last 2 years with government, and I'm happy to say that we've got 95% of the farmers backing us on this compensation side. So it's taken us a long time to get here, and for that I want to thank government and the new dispensation that we finally got to that stage, and we can now put it behind us and we can get on with agriculture. Thank you.
Farm workers also?
Yeah, the issue of farm workers, that was dealt with, or it ought to be dealt with the former farmers in the first place, because they have a contractual obligation on that, and so that's how that is being handled. It's the former farmers. And I know that they've done something already in terms of some compensation, if not partial, it's really full, or the other way around. So it's not really for government at this stage to deal with that.
I think we are coming to the end. Sorry, afterwards we'll have to pass. Honorable Ministers, Mr. Swarapu, members of the media, we want to thank you for attending this press conference.
I've got a commitment. Every single farmer in Zimbabwe has a commitment. And it's time that we stand up and prove our worth in producing food for this country. We've had enough chances, we need to get on with it. I don't think any of us as farmers are proud that we have to import food into this country from South Africa or anywhere else. So I support government that we've got to get agriculture back to what it was, and we can be proud of it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much to our panel. And let me just quickly introduce my colleagues. On my left is retired Major General Chanakira, who is a...
I've got a commitment.